Well, it is finally summer, and that means that a lot of you folks are heading down to the Port Aransas and Mustang Island area to do some fishing. So I thought it would be a great time to release another one of my Fish Here type videos. It's a series of 4 videos now, and if you're just now finding this video, make sure you go watch the prior 3 as well, because I share some really cool fishing spots in those. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank y'all so much for tuning in today. If this is your first time on the channel and you enjoy these fishing type of videos, then please consider clicking that subscribe button below. Today I'm going to share 3 fishing spots with you, and I've got the folks that are staying in Port Aransas in mind. None of these spots are going to require you to cross that ferry back towards Aransas Pass. I figure on your way here you probably got stuck in that long line to cross the ferry, and the last thing you want to do is go back across it just to get stuck in traffic again. So none of these spots will require you to do that. So the first spot that I want to talk about today, I've mentioned something about it before in one of my prior videos, and that's the Corpus Christi Pass and Kate's Hole area. So I spent some time talking about Kate's Hole right here in one of my prior Fish Here videos. So if you don't know about Kate's Hole right here and how it's an excellent wade fishing and kayak fishing spot, definitely go check out that previous video. But one thing that I didn't do was spend time talking about the Corpus Christi Pass area just around the corner here. So as you can see, there's an old pass right here that is accessible by vehicle and allows you to actually fish from the bank. There's not a ton of places in the area where you can access it from the bank. This is a great spot to bring the family out and bring the kids out and have a decent spot of catching some fish without getting your feet wet. So accessibility, I want to talk about that real quick because this road can get kind of nasty. So off of 361, you're going to hang a right onto this dirt road. And if you cross this bridge that says Corpus Christi Pass, that means you've gone too far and you need to turn around. Once you get on the dirt road, you'll immediately hang a left. And you'll see right here, there's a puddle. It's a large puddle that almost always holds water. Let me show you from street view. You can see what it looks like as well. So right in here, it always holds water. It may not be this much water. This is actually pretty high, but I have never gotten stuck in this spot, and I've never seen anyone get stuck in this spot. It's actually a pretty firm sandy bottom, but you can hug the outside edges of this deep puddle and you should be fine. But as always, use your best judgment. You know, I don't know what kind of vehicle you have, so if it's really deep and you think it's too deep for your vehicle, then use your best judgment. It might be better to just turn around in some cases. But in most cases, especially in a truck with some decent clearance, you're going to be able to get through this puddle just fine. And once you get through it, you're pretty smooth sailing all the way down here to this area right in here. And you can easily park here and fish this whole shoreline, and it goes all the way back up in here. So my recommendation here would be throw some top waters early in the morning, some paddle tails early in the morning, and you might be able to get away with some live shrimp under a popping cork, but this place just has top water written all over it to me. If you do fish a popping cork, I would suggest some live shrimp under the popping cork and keep your leader fairly short because this is going to be some pretty shallow water. Check it out on Google Maps before you go out and find the areas with the most grass. If you target the areas with the most grass, you'll have better odds of hooking into a redfish. So in this area, you would have the best chances of catching redfish, trout, and probably flounder. So right here, Corpus Christi Pass, Kate's Hole, it's a great place to check out. Next on the list is going to be the Packery Channel boat ramp. This place is going to be extremely accessible by any kind of vehicle. So what you do, you come down the same 361 like you're going to Corpus Christi, and you hang a left on this Zon Road. This is a beach access road as if you were going to the Packery Channel jetties here. But instead of going all the way down to the jetties, you can hang a right on this road here, and it'll take you to the Packery Channel boat launch. Well, if you continue the road on around past the boat launch, you get to this nice area here where you can easily park your car and fish from your tailgate if you'd like. They even have some picnic table areas set up where you can stop and have a picnic with your family while you're fishing. This spot, it's probably going to be best fishing on the bottom, to be honest with you. It's probably one of those spots where you're going to have the best luck throwing dead shrimp, cut mullet, or even crab on the bottom and just letting it sit. You'll likely catch a bunch of hardheads, probably some gaff tops, but more than likely you'll hook into some decent black drum. So this is definitely going to be kind of a black drum spot for you. You might hook into the occasional redfish, but this is going to be just an easily accessible place for some fun, quick fishing with a family. And the last spot that I want to talk about today is going to be the North Jetty out of Port Aransas. So most people know about or have fished the South Jetty, but the North Jetty actually requires a little short ferry ride to get to. And the advantage of taking that ferry ride and fishing the North Jetty opposed to the South Jetty is that you're going to be able to avoid the crowd in most cases. Granted, there are going to be people out there, especially on the weekends in the summertime, but there will be far fewer people on the North Jetty compared to the South Jetty. And besides all that, it can just be a really neat experience because the North Jetty comes off of San Jose Island, which is right out here. And it offers, I believe it's 21 miles of uninhabited beach. So there's no vehicles, there's no restaurants, there's no stores. It's a beautiful place to go beachcombing and hang out away from the crowd. So it makes for a neat experience. The way to get to the North Jetty is by a ferry that you catch at the Fishermans Wharf. And that's going to be right here, the Port Aransas Fishermans Wharf. There's a schedule online that tells you what time the ferry leaves. You don't have to call and reserve a spot ahead of time. You just show up to the Fisherman's Wharf, you buy your ferry ticket, and you catch the next one out. I believe it's $19 for adults, and I forgot how much for children, but I will include the link to Fisherman's Wharf that has all the details on catching the ferry in the description below, so be sure to check that out if you're interested. Now, there is one caveat to the Port Aransas jetties, and that is that they have been doing some construction on them. They had them shut down for a few months, and I honestly don't know if they're still shut down. What I read was they intended to open them for Memorial Day weekend, which was the end of last month. So I don't know if they're open or not yet. I haven't been down there in a while. So it would be worth calling the Fisherman's Wharf before you make your plans to head out there. Give them a call, make sure that the ferry's running and that North Jetty is in fact open. But fishing this North Jetty is going to give you the opportunity to catch fish that you otherwise wouldn't be able to catch in the bay. So it's a neat place to fish. You'll have greater odds of hooking into something, and you should be able to get away from the majority of the crowd. Well, like always, I will include the coordinates to each one of these spots in the description below. So if you do want to check them out, you can find the coordinates to whichever spot you want to go to, and you can plug them into your phone and it should take you right there. I will also include the address to Fisherman's Wharf there in Port Aransas so that you can easily find the spot and get your ferry ticket to go check out that North Jetty. One thing that I wanted to mention real fast, you're going to have the best luck fishing really early and then in the evenings. When the sun starts heating up that water, these fish get real lethargic and they're not as inclined to go after a bait. So if you're here for a limited amount of time, then definitely the best way to increase your odds of hooking up to a fish would be fish real early and the late evenings. Well, thank y'all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. If you're looking for more fishing spots in the area, then be sure to check out the prior 3 Fish Here videos that I've released. They've got some awesome fishing spots that you don't want to miss out on. Y'all have a great week, and I will see you next Tuesday.